Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. There was something that was posted on Facebook by a friend of mine, and let me read it to you, okay? It says, he's talking about football. He's a football fan. Well, he supports Tottenham, so he's not really a football fan. Arsenal. Anyway, he says, Sky Sports costs 40 quid a month. BT Sport costs £22.50 a month. Amazon Prime costs £9 a month. I didn't even know Amazon showed football, but apparently. So he says that's over £70 a month to watch football legally in the UK, and yet the Arsenal versus Everton and Liverpool versus Wolves matches will not be televised in the UK tonight. And it finishes by saying, no wonder illegal streams are so popular. He actually reposted this, the guy I know, but the point is well made. Over £70 a month to watch football legally in the UK. Now, I used to be a massive football fan when I was a kid, so I'm going way, way back, long before the Premiership existed. And like I say, I'm an Arsenal fan, and we were good in the FA Cup and lousy in the, well, not lousy, but not very good in the league. It was dominated by Liverpool at the time. You know, we're going way, way back. But then the 1990 World Cup happened, and the popularity of football ceased to be just a working class thing and became, you know, the middle classes stepped in, the money stepped in. Suddenly you had a massive influx of foreign players, and clubs were bought up by foreigners. So Arsenal is owned by essentially Americans and Russians, and Liverpool is owned by Americans, and Chelsea is owned by Russians, and Manchester City is Arab. So it's just this flood of money, flood of extremely highly paid players. And to me, when I'm being asked to pay through the nose for something to fund the lifestyles of people who are already colossally rich, I ain't going for it. So if I want to watch a football match now, I'll stream it. Now, the same is true of boxing, because I can see boxing going the same way as football if we're not careful. Illegal streams, I've said before on many videos, the last pay-per-view I bought was, I think it was 96 or 97 maybe. It might have been the Tyson, I think it was the Tyson Holyfield rematch, was that 97? And after that, I just thought, I'm not having this. Because it was only a few years before that, 2 years before that, when Nigel Benn and Gerald McClellan, which is the greatest fight I've ever seen, certainly the most brutal fight I've ever seen, that was on national terrestrial television, and 18 million people watched it, something ridiculous. I might have the figure wrong, but it was millions and millions of people watched it. Nowadays, if you get 1 million people watching something, it's considered to be quite an achievement. And yet, prices for watching your chosen sport, whether it is football or boxing, are through the roof. Now, you can tolerate this if you like, and you can talk about it being the modern world and how the only way fights can get made are if... First of all, that's a big lie. The only way fights could get made are if we go down the pay-per-view route. No. The only way fights can get made is if people agree to take less money. And whereas 90% of boxers barely make anything, the people at the top who are already colossally rich still insist on squeezing the rag dry. So you have Tyson Fury charging, was it 27 quid or whatever it was, to watch that farce of a mismatch with Chisora, the last year. Joshua, his next fight, I believe, is not going to be on pay-per-view. But for years for all of his title reign, they're all pay-per-view fights. No. You can accept less money. Money, it'll still be money that the rest of us can only dream of. So instead of taking 25 million, you take 5 million, okay? But what that means is that the rest of us might actually have a chance of watching these fights. People who are working hard during a cost of living crisis, who are being fleeced shamelessly by the legalised corruption of energy companies, and you've seen the price of food, the way it's shot up, suddenly we'll be able to watch the sport that we love, even though we haven't got what they call it, disposable income. What a stupid phrase. It sounds like, you're using, £20 notes to light your cigarette or something. There is no disposable income, right? You can have more money than you can spend, which is the case of Joshua, Fury, and a few others. But you ask most boxers, what their disposable income is. Most of them have got other jobs. Okay, so this isn't a question of taking money away from boxing. It's a case of taking some money away from a tiny minority of extremely wealthy boxers. And I'm all in favour of illegal streams. I use them all the time. I'm happy with them. I don't see any reason why technology shouldn't be used for us as well as for the people that hold the purse strings and all the power. And I strongly advise anyone to do that, to get themselves a good, powerful, reliable computer or phone or whatever you want to use, something with, that really has a fast speed on it, and then find a good stream and watch the fights. You can watch them live, or watch them afterwards. If you're not interested, if you can't watch them live, go and watch them afterwards. You can do a little bit of Googling, a little bit of hunting, and you can find a stream that shows fights after the fact. So we need to kick back against this obscene, shameless fleecing of the public. Again, it's not about taking money away from boxers. I, in my mid-50s, have spent the last 40 plus years, whatever it is, going to small hall shows. I've spent thousands and thousands of pounds on grassroots boxing. You think I'm going to be ashamed or guilty because I'm using an illegal stream? You must be higher than King Kong's twat, or Queen Kong's twat, I should say, if you think I'm going to worry about taking a few quid out of Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua's pockets. I'm not. Especially Fury. He really is shameless about fleecing the public. But some people will be daft and will, continue. But you just got to do your thing. You just got to say, no, I'm not taking this anymore. Because if we don't make a stand, as with football, the astronomical amount of money it costs to watch football, that could be the same for boxing. In some areas, it already is. If you go to America, look at the price of pay-per-views over there. It's obscene. And yet people tolerate it. You don't have to tolerate it. Okay, so let's kick against the pricks. And to use a biblical term, which it is a biblical term, kick against the pricks, take a bit of money back, take our sport back. And just a few thoughts on it, okay? So leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the video, that always helps as well. Thank you very much, and we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.